Good morning and welcome to the Elevate Renatus team call. Today is Thriving Thursday. It is, what day is it? April 15th. And I'm excited to be here with you today. My name is Keely Austin. I am your host today. Our quote of the day today is, "The victim mindset dilutes the human potential. By not accepting personal responsibility for our circumstances, we greatly reduce our power to change them." I really love this quote, and something that has been brought up and brought to my awareness very much recently. I mean, I have been practicing 100% responsibility now for a few years. I first learned about it when I read the book, The Success Principles. I highly recommend that book for those of you who haven't read it or maybe haven't heard of it. Get that book and read it. The first chapter is all about 100% responsibility, and definitely something that's come up to me more recently that I've been practicing. And it's just a very powerful concept, and it's incredibly empowering. So we have our leaders retreat coming up. That is August 20th through the 24th. Excuse me here, I just need to let these dogs in. Come on. We are going to Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, August 20th through the 24th. And in order to go to Leaders Retreat, you do need to be qualified. And all that means is you are 1-star, 3-star, or 5-star qualified. So do whatever you need to do to make that happen. Leaders Retreat is an absolute blast. This would be my third Leaders Retreat. I went to Cancun with the group a few years ago. And then in 2019, we went to Panama. Panama was absolutely incredible, so much fun. So we are looking forward to going to Cabo this year. Very excited to see you all there. Our Renatus Founders Live webinar is every Monday at 4 p.m. That is our opportunity to connect with Bob Snyder and the entire nation. We get to hear about any important announcements that the company might have, as well as a training of the week. Sorry about that, you guys, I'm dog sitting. A training of the week, recognition, as well as a story of the week. I love this quote. This goes perfectly with our Founders Live meeting. There are 3 kinds of people in the world: people who make it happen, people who watch what happens, and the people who wonder what happens. So don't be wondering what's going on. Tune in to the Founders Live each and every Monday at 4 p.m. That is through the Renatus Founders Live Facebook page. And if you're not able to make it to the live meeting at 4 p.m. Mountain Time, you can always catch the replay. Our national study groups are happening every Monday night at 7 p.m. Right now, we're making our way through the Essentials courses. You can find those in the Helios calendar. If you haven't downloaded the Renatus Helios app, make sure you do so. There's a lot of really great features there. One of my favorites is that you are notified whenever you have a guest checked into an event. You're notified also when you get paid, and there is a brand new money mastery exercise downloaded or uploaded to the app every single day. They are working out some bugs with that right now. I've noticed that it hasn't been working lately. If anyone has any updates on that, please let me know if you've been able to watch those. But the last few times that I've tried, it's not been working. So they are working on that, and they're constantly working on getting new updates to this app so that it is very valuable for us. And what I love about it too is that you can share it with your guests, and they can also benefit from those money mastery videos. Every week and every day, we've got a lot of support with Team Elevate. Here's a list of a couple of the things that we've got going on each and every week, as well as some of our daily calls. So every week we have our private capital masterclass. That's on Thursdays at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. So today at 6 o'clock. And we invite all AIT students to attend this private capital masterclass. We do ask that you are a part of the OES, the optional event subscription for Team Elevate. And what we talk about at this masterclass is private capital. So of course, make sure you're watching your private capital classes, and say you've been around for a while and you've been able to successfully build private capital. Come to this call and share your value, share your wins, share what's been working for you. And then let's say that you're newer, come to this class and get prepared to ask some questions and get prepared to start having some private capital conversations. It's a very, very valuable skill to have to be able to build private capital for your real estate investing business. Dane Clark is the facilitator for this masterclass. And for those of you who don't know, Dane has raised over $23 million from what he's learned from the private capital classes. So he's a great facilitator and really helps challenge us to start going out and having those private capital conversations. We also have our dream call. That is our daily real estate action mastermind that happens right after this call from 9 till about 10 o'clock, where we talk all things real estate investing. So for those of you who perhaps haven't started a deal yet, this is a great way for you to come and get challenged on how you can start taking action to get your first transaction. You can get support, ask questions. And then for those of you who might have been around for a while, who've had some success with getting some real estate deals done, come and share your value, help answer questions, and help us with this mastermind. So we welcome everyone to the Dream Call as long as you are on the OES. For those of you who are on the optional event subscription, you will be getting an email each and every month that has the information to attend the private capital class and the Dream Call. So once you join the OES, you'll be getting those monthly emails. And then our daily team call that we're on right now, that is Monday through Friday from 8 to 9, where we talk about business, marketing, and we talk about personal development and mindset, because those two things are incredibly foundational and important to your growth. So I mentioned the optional event subscription. You can sign up for that through this website here on the screen, www.oyesoes.com. There's also a short video there that talks about, just to give some more detail on what the OES is. Michael Huggins put that together. It's only about 5 or 6 minutes long, so make sure you at least watch that video and learn a little bit more about what the optional event subscription is and how that's beneficial to you and the team. If you're looking to introduce your guests to the Profits education, a great way to do that is to get them in front of Scott Rowe. Scott Rowe does an intro presentation for the Profits every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. Please make sure you do register in Helios, and you can find this in the Helios calendar just by simply typing in Profits, and you'll see that pop up on Tuesdays. Every Wednesday, we have our virtual house tour. Last night, we had a really great tour with Diego. Diego shared his fix and flip. He also shared that he possibly could have done multiple exit strategies. And that's what I love about these house tours, is there's so many possibilities and we have options. And it's very powerful to get your guests to these property tours, because they are able to see what is actually being done in today's market, as well as how many different classes are being put to use in just one deal. So really, really powerful. It gets them excited and also introduces them in a way to our Renatus education and the power behind what we have. So that is every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. Every Thursday, so tonight, we've got lots going on. We've got our corporate onboarding session. That is at 4 p.m. Mountain Time. We've got another house tour tonight. So every Wednesday, the house tour is in English. However, we have another house tour offered on Thursdays that is in Spanish at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. We also have our Pillars of Wealth intro presentation. I do know that Bill is out of town, so Michael Huggins will be stepping in for Bill tonight to do the intro presentation. And then we also have our real estate study groups. We've got multifamily and short-term rental, both of those happening at 7 p.m. And at 8 o'clock tonight, Mountain Time, we have our Velocity Banking study group. To attend these events, please register in Helios. You can search for Laura Black and you'll see these events pop up. You'll see Elevate, I believe it's just Elevate events that'll pop up in the calendar. And then to access the events, you will go to teamelevateusa.com. We do record these morning calls. Sorry, guys. You can catch the recordings. We're on Facebook Live. Our Facebook page is Renatus Team Elevate. And of course, if you're not able to watch the live training, you can always catch the replay through the Renatus Team Elevate Facebook page. Just type in Thriving Thursday or whichever day that you missed or that you want to see. Type that in the search under that Elevate group page, and you will see that pop up, and you can always watch the replay there. And then our YouTube channel is a little bit behind. I think there's about a week or two worth of trainings that I need to get uploaded there. So bear with me, I'll get those up as soon as possible. But our YouTube channel, make sure that you check out the value there, because there is at least, I want to say 7 or 8 years of these morning call recordings on there. So much value. We've had different trainers kind of come in and out over the years. And so if you go back a couple of years, you'll see some different faces. And if you're newer, or if you've been around for a while, it's definitely valuable to go back and rewatch some of these recordings. So a lot of value. Very, very grateful for these morning calls. So today I am stepping in for Wanda. So we get to learn a little bit about me, and then I'm going to go into just a lot of what's happened in my experience with Renatus over the last 5 years. I just realized that it's April and it's been 5 years since I got started. So I'll be sharing a little bit about that. But first, let's shift over to our money mastery exercise. We will watch that quick video together. We'll take a few minutes to go over the call to action. And I would love it if any of you could share with us what your thoughts are on the call to action. So let's go ahead and shift over to that.
Who says you need a college degree to succeed? These people prove that wrong.
So we had a lot of really, really great comments in the chat, and I would love to take a few minutes to read through those. I thought today's call to action was very powerful, and thank you guys so much for opening up and sharing. So we have Jakar, who shares, "The sky is the limit with self-belief. I know I can do anything with that mindset and skill set." Olivia shares, "I can do anything with my skills and mindset. I can't let other options of real estate stop me, especially when they don't know anything about it." Options, I think she might mean opinions. And then Jen shares, "My husband and I are complete opposites. He is the pessimist and I the optimist. He is always waiting for the next shoe to drop, and I am always ready to handle that size 15 shoe." I love that. I shared, "I can become aware of my contradictions. I can clean up stories that aren't serving me, and I can take full empowerment over my life, and I can create the life that I want." We definitely create stories if we think about what we've grown up with, our environment. We have a lot of, at least for me personally, I had a lot of limiting beliefs before I joined Renatus, and I did not realize how many crazy stories I had that were holding me back. And it's been a really, really empowering learning about 100% responsibility, and just really, really developing my personal development and focusing on shifting my mindset from scarcity and limiting beliefs to abundance. So I have learned so much from this group, and I'm so very grateful. Maria shares that there is no limit in what I can achieve with that mindset. No limits. Drakar shares a little bit more. "I can achieve the dreams in all my business, develop land and set all my business and others on that land, controlling my situation and my profits to create cash flow. There are no limits when you believe in yourself and work hard at your goals, developing skills that are unmatched." Very well said. Steve says, "I have realized if it is to be, it is up to me." Yes. "And therefore I commit myself to create a life of abundance for my family and my future for generations to come. And also the goal is to be blessed, indeed, to be bigger blessings to those around me and my community." Love it. Something I learned from Scott Rowe was to be the ripple, and by all of us making ourselves better and to continually grow ourselves, that just, it spreads out to everybody that you're around. Our energy is touching everyone that we're around. So as we continue to make ourselves better, we are making other people's better, and we're making the world a better place. So always work on your personal development. Maurice says, "I believe now that the love of money is the root of all good. Now more real estate deals and charity will be in play." I think that's very powerful. A lot of us, not a lot of us, but I know some of us at least have perhaps had a negative mindset around money, maybe before joining Renatus. And here Maurice shares that it's the root of all good, which I really, really love that share. So thank you, Maurice. Nina, "Mine is broken." What do you mean by that? I'd love it if you come out and share and expand on that. Maybe some of us could provide some guidance for you. If you're comfortable, of course.
It was my camera that I was talking about when you were asking.
Oh,
To come. I'm so sorry.
got it. Okay, perfect. Get that camera fixed, girl. We want to see your beautiful face. Scarlett shares, I feel very grateful to have found Renatus because it helps me to change my mind, or helped me to change my mind and belief that I can accomplish my dreams. Uilani shares, mindset is key to anything and everything. Absolutely. To have your mindset in check is foundational, not just to business, but to life in general. Al Noble shares, I can do all things. Andres, our mind is an amazing gift. We all have greatness within us. It is up to us to bring out the greatness within us. Anything that you believe is within reach. Beautiful. Oh, now I see your comments, Nina, about your camera. Well, awesome. Awesome, awesome. I really appreciate, again, all of you coming out to share. Really powerful thoughts there.
Hey, Keely, you
Yes,
didn't read Shayna's message. That was also a good one.
Did I miss one? Let me go back and check that out. Oh, I don't know how I missed that. Sorry about that. Shayna Wood, the Renatus mindset has opened my eyes to how much I had subconsciously settled because that's just how life is / my lot in life. But that doesn't have to be the case. I know too many people who have just accepted and settled, but now that I know differently, I can't not swim against the current. It is a work in progress for sure, because it takes work and enough spark to just fly with it and trust that good things will come as we network with those who live like we want to and will. Absolutely powerful. Thank you for pointing that out. I don't know how I missed that. Thank you so much, Shayna, and everyone for sharing. Drakar, thank you everyone for the powerful messages. Absolutely. And again, just going back to these morning calls, I'm so grateful for these morning calls because, Shayna, did you want to come out and share? I saw that you just unmuted yourself. We can't hear you very well, but if you could try again, that would be awesome.
Oh, that's okay. I was just gonna say, we tried to tune in this video.
Oh.
But some trigger when you're home with little kids.
Well, your hands are full. What cutie pies they are. How fun. All right, so I wanted to talk a little bit about my background and where I was before Renatus, why I got started, how I got started, and what it's been able to do for me. And I already touched a little bit on mindset, and I want to say that that is my biggest takeaway from joining Renatus is the shift in mindset that I've had. And like I said, I used to have so many limiting beliefs and so many stories, and I used to be afraid to ask questions, and that held me back from so much growth and from so much learning. And I realize now how silly it is to be afraid to ask questions. Always ask questions, and never be afraid to look dumb or to look stupid. That's just such a silly limiting belief that I had. And so that's just one very powerful takeaway that I've had from Renatus. And before Renatus, I was a banker. I was in the banking industry for about 6 years. I worked for US Bank for many years. I started as a teller and then worked my way up to being a personal banker. And then most recently, I was a personal banker for an online version of a credit union here in Arizona. And even before I was a banker, I actually used to work for a Jiffy Lube. I was a technician and would change oil. And I actually helped Michael Huggins get his job at Jiffy Lube. So he talks about how he used to have 2 jobs. He used to work 2 full-time jobs at Jiffy Lube as well as Sears Auto. So Michael, at the time, he was kind of struggling, and he came to me, my spouse and I, and let us know that he was looking for a job opportunity. This was, many years ago. I want to say probably about 12 years ago. So well before Renatus. And yeah, I helped Michael Huggins get that job at Jiffy Lube. And then what's funny is while he was working at Jiffy Lube, that's when he discovered Renatus. And that was about 10 years ago when he found Renatus. And of course, he wanted his friends to join. He saw the value in Renatus. He saw the possibilities, and he talked to my spouse and I, my sweetheart's name is Casey. He talked to us both about Renatus, and neither of us were hearing it. I was comfortable. I ended up getting a job. I was at Jiffy Lube for about 4 years, but then I ended up getting a job at the bank. And I felt like it was a stable job. I felt like I was very comfortable with it. I had never thought about real estate investing or investing in general. Just didn't seem like something that I would ever be interested in. I just didn't know what I didn't know. So Michael talked to Casey and I about Renatus for 5 years. And we shut him off. We were like, no, thanks. We don't want to do whatever it is that you're doing. And like I said, we just didn't know what we didn't know. We had no idea what we were missing out on. And sometimes I look back and think, gosh, if I had joined 5 years earlier, I would be now in Renatus for 10 years. And who knows where I would be right now. So it's kind of crazy, but no regrets. Everything happens for a reason, and timing is very important. So my message kind of behind that is always follow up. Follow up, follow up, follow up. It took Michael 5 years of following up with me to finally help me realize that I was in a place that I didn't want to be at the bank for the rest of my life. I had been there for, like I said, about 6 years. And my future at the bank was to just keep climbing the chain. And maybe I'd be making good money. However, I would be working for somebody else. I would be not creating my own schedule, which that is something I deeply desired, was to be able to create my own schedule and to be able to work from home and travel all that I wanted to do and just not have to ask other people for time off. So like I said, even though banking was a decent job, it's not what I wanted to do long term. And so over those 5 years, I had watched Michael transform. He studied so many personal development gurus. I know that he studied in depth Napoleon Hill. He also studied Jim Rohn. And through those studies, Michael, like I said, transformed his personality and transformed his life and really took ownership and took 100% responsibility over his life. And I noticed. So if you haven't caught on, Michael and I have been really good friends for many, many years. And he's still the crazy Michael that I know from 14 years ago, but he is, he's transformed, and it really shows with his business and what he and Vanessa have been able to create. So I got incredibly inspired watching Michael grow and watching him go from, working those 2 jobs to never having a job again. And I wanted that. So Vanessa actually is the one who really sparked the interest in me. I had learned about an essential oil company. I'm really passionate about health and about natural wellness, not taking medicine, not really going to the doctor unless absolutely necessary, and just finding the root cause of what the issue could be with any ailments that you might have. So I ran into this essential oil company and decided I wanted to do that as a business. I felt like that could be a great way for me to get away from working the 9 to 5 and do something that I'm really passionate about. So I did that for about a year. And that is what introduced me to the idea of entrepreneurship. So, like I said, Michael had talked to me about real estate investing, and I just brushed it off because real estate investing didn't seem like something I wanted to do. It wasn't really one of my passions, where health was a deep passion of mine. And so this oil company really spoke to me. And I did that for about a year. And I don't want to blame anything, but my upline had told me some information about taxes that was misconstrued. And so I thought that I was able to write off a lot of things that I actually wasn't able to. And I found out a year later that wasn't the case. And I ended up losing a lot of money with this oil company. And we had to do our own meetings. It just ended up not at all being what I wanted to do. So still very passionate about natural wellness, but I did not want to do that as a business. And so right around the time that I was getting really frustrated with this oil business, Vanessa Huggins reached out to me, and she invited me to an event called The Most Powerful Women in Network Marketing. This was an event held by Eric Worre. Are any of you familiar with Eric Worre? He wrote the book Go Pro, which is a really incredible book. So check that out if you haven't. Yes, Nina's aware. So Eric Worre held this event in Las Vegas, and because I was doing this essential oil business, Vanessa thought, because it wasn't a Renatus event, obviously, it was Eric Worre, it was a network marketing event. So because Vanessa knew I was doing network marketing, she thought, hey, I'm going to invite Keely to this network marketing event. So Vanessa had very strategically done that and invited me to Las Vegas with she and her real estate investment group from Salt Lake City. At the time, Vanessa was in Salt Lake City, and she had a very powerful group of females who were all going to this women in network marketing event. So I ended up spending about 5 days with a group of powerful Renatus females. So I drove up from Phoenix to Vegas, and I met up with Vanessa and the ladies from Salt Lake City. And like I said, I spent about 5 days with all these women, and I learned about Renatus. I learned about what they were doing. I learned about how they were putting out signs. I learned about that they were making offers on properties, and I was incredibly inspired. And not only was I inspired by all of these women who were taking their lives to the next level through the Renatus wealth cycle, I wanted to learn about the compensation plan, because when I compared that to the current compensation plan I was working with this oil company, it blew that oil company out of the water when I learned about the compensation plan with Renatus. And so over that weekend, I was 100% sold. And so it just kind of shows, like, again, going back to follow up and timing, the way that Michael had introduced us to it and where I was at with the bank, it didn't seem like anything I wanted to do. But because I had shifted from working at the bank to doing this oil company, and my eyes were kind of opened to the idea of entrepreneurship and running my own business, I was in a place to then hear about Renatus, and it clicked. It totally clicked, and I was in. So when I heard the number $20,000, I was like, are you guys crazy? I did not want to spend $20,000. That to me, in my small mind at the time, didn't seem like something that was realistic for me. I had never spent that much money on anything, and I definitely didn't have that much money in the bank. So of course, Michael and Vanessa helped me get creative. And fortunately, because I had been working at the bank for so many years and I had been very responsible with my finances, I had decent credit, I had decent income, and I utilized Eric Account's Credit Nerds company to get started. And I was able to get over $30,000 in 0% credit cards. So of course, I bought my full cash combo within about a month or two of getting introduced to Renatus. And here I am 5 years later, and it's been an incredible journey. So that's kind of how I got started, why I got started, and a little bit of my background. I mentioned already that I am really, really passionate about holistic health and exercise, eating healthy. I have a healthy, nutritious smoothie every day, and I do my best to keep my health on point. And I definitely encourage all of you to do the same, because your health is your wealth. It's so important to have a healthy body, and it helps with your energy. It helps, oh, Steve wants to know the recipe. Well, usually it consists of frozen berries, always a huge handful of spinach. I do put some plant protein in there, as well as like flax seeds, and I change it up all the time. I like to use water or sometimes oat milk. I do avoid dairy and meat for the most part. I wouldn't 100% consider myself vegan, but for the most part, I'm going to be, some of you may know that I'm going to be moving. I'm I am. We closed on the property. We signed the closing docs. We are going to be moving to Tennessee. I was going to talk about that in a little bit here, but I thought I would bring that up with the vegan comment, because I'm going to be getting chickens, and I am excited to eat their eggs. I'm so excited to eat their eggs. So anyway, keep your health on point, everybody. It's so important to be healthy and to be exercising. Move your body 30 minutes a day at least. Go on a walk. You don't have to go crazy. You don't have to go on a crazy long run. Just as long as you get your body moving, do some stretching in the morning, and get outside, get some natural vitamin D. It's so important to put your health as number one. Your health is so, so important. And then your mindset goes right along with health. Keep a clean, healthy mind by meditating and by stating affirmations. A fun exercise that I was introduced to by William Lamb. I'm not sure, maybe some of you are familiar with William Lamb. He's an incredible individual. He practices and preaches and teaches NLP, which is neuro linguistic programming. NLP, which is really powerful. I'm going to be learning more about that in the very near future, but people have been able to heal all kinds of things through NLP, just through neuro-linguistic programming. So something I learned from William Lamb, he trained at a Super Saturday a couple of years ago in Denver, and I was fortunate enough to travel to Denver to see his training live. He had us do this exercise called Be, Do, Have. And so I want to encourage you all to do this exercise. We don't have to do it right now to save time, but write this down and do this exercise when you get a few minutes. So you're going to take a piece of paper and you're going to draw 3 columns on your piece of paper, 3 columns. And on the top of each column, one will say be, one will say do, and one will say have. And you're going to brainstorm for as long as you want. I would say at least give yourself 20 to 30 minutes to do this exercise, if not longer. And this is a really, really powerful way to get clear on your passions and your dreams and what you want your ideal life to look like. So what you're going to do is you're going to set aside all limiting beliefs, all limits. So you're going to act as if time is abundant and money is abundant. You have all the money in the world and you have all the time in the world. You've reached a place in your business where you have that cash flow coming in, you've got your passive income set, and you don't have a job anymore. So set aside any limits and take 20 to 30 minutes to write down everything that you will be, do, and have. And this exercise, for me anyway, I don't know if this is going to be the same for you, but for me, it was like after I got down maybe 5 things, I kind of was stumped for a minute. I was like, and William wanted us to write down 50 things in each column. So also set that for yourself. Write down 20 to 50 things in each column. And these are going to be, it could be materialistic, it could be characteristics, it could be places that you want to go, things that you want to have. So for example, some of my things were leadership and confidence and not being afraid to ask questions and being able to face conflicts with grace. And so like a lot of different characteristics, I wrote down just different types of personality traits that I want to have, because you can create whatever personality traits that you want. You're not set to any personality traits. Those things have been developed because of your surroundings and because of your upbringing, and you are in 100% control of your personality and who you want to be. So empower yourself with this exercise. Some other things that I wrote down were, I want to travel the world. I recently did, my mom did, my parents did blood test, and we got our results back, and I know that I am a quarter Irish, I'm a quarter Norwegian, a quarter Russian, and a quarter British. So I'm very European. And I want to visit all of those countries. So that was something else I wrote down, was I want to visit my roots and visit my ancestors, where they are from. And not only that, I want to have a farm animal sanctuary, or not just farm animals, but all animals. I want to have a sanctuary where I can have animals that maybe for whatever reason, they need somewhere to stay. I have a big enough space that I can keep them there, and I have a crew of people, so I don't have to be there necessarily all the time to run it. I have a crew of amazing volunteers and paid employees who are there to run this place for me, and I have these sanctuaries set up around the world. I mean, like I said, there's no limit. So really, I want you guys to set aside 20 to 30 minutes to do this exercise, be, do, have, and really challenge yourself to get at least 20 to 50 items under each column. So I want to say thank you to William Lamb. I know he's not here, but thanks to William Lamb for that exercise, because that really, really, really opened up my imagination and helped me set aside a lot of limiting beliefs and really, really figure out what it is that I want to do with my life. And it's very motivating. It helps you realize, like, you can have anything that you want, and you can do anything that you want, and you can be anything that you want. So I wanted to share that with you all, because I thought that was just a very, very powerful exercise. If you're not following William Lamb on Facebook, check him out. He is an incredible individual. He shares a lot of his NLP tips and tricks on his page. He does Facebook Lives regularly, and they are always very, very moving and very, very powerful. Okay, so I've got a list here of other things that I want to talk about, and kind of all over the place. I just found out last night that I was going to be stepping in for Wanda, so I just kind of jotted down a bunch of stuff that I could talk about. So back to Tennessee, let's talk about that for a second. So the universe is amazing. I'm going to be vulnerable for a minute here. I have not had the success that I have wanted in Renatus yet. I've definitely been very consistent, and I've been working pretty hard, but not hard enough. And so I am ready to really step it up. And one of the things that I'm going to be doing is, I was very inspired by Yas specifically, but for those of you who know Yas and Umair Hawk, they are our newest PAC members. Congratulations to them. Yas has done a couple of trainings on marketing, and I would call her a marketing queen for sure, because she has had a lot of success as a marketer. And one thing that she trains on that I'm going to be implementing as I make this long drive to Tennessee is I'm going to have a bunch of drop cards made. And as I drive across 6 states, I'm going to be dropping these cards all over as I drive. So I'm going to be driving through Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and the majority of the state of Tennessee, since we're going to Eastern Tennessee. And I'm going to drop cards all over the place, and we're going to see what happens. So I'm excited for that. So my sweetheart, Casey, he was working 4 years for a company here in Arizona, and he was thriving. He was doing really, really, really well. And 4 months ago, the company got new ownership. And what ended up happening was the new ownership turned out to not be the greatest people. And so for the last 4 months, well, like I said, for 4 years, Casey was thriving. He loved his work. But for the last 4 months, it's been a nightmare. And we've been talking about new opportunities, maybe a different job for him, or perhaps him helping me more with my Renatus business, because both of us want to eventually not have to work at all. You know, we want to exit the rat race. Someone who really inspires me is Lily Puertas. I know she's on the call. She is someone who has completely been able to walk away from the rat race because of what she's learned with the Renatus wealth cycle and through her real estate investing. So both of us, Casey and I, want to exit the rat race and work together. So we were kind of putting that out into the universe. He wasn't planning on quitting, but he was miserable there, and he ended up getting let go about 3 weeks ago. So even though we weren't planning on that, the universe conspired and made that happen for us. So that week that Casey got let go from his job, we were kind of scrambling, but we were pretty confident that he'd be able to just find another job here in Phoenix. We're in a huge city with a lot of opportunity. And by the way, we had no intention to move to Tennessee. We had talked about it a little bit when Michael went out there, and we were like, wow, you know, this project that Michael's working on is incredible, and to be a part of that would be amazing. But that was kind of a distant dream, and we did not consider that seriously by any means. And that very week, without Michael even knowing about Casey losing his job, Michael called us with this deal and said, I found a property just down the street, and it's for a great deal. It definitely needs a little bit of work. It needs some love, but maybe this could be your guys' new house. And he sent us some videos, and based on the videos, we weren't really sold because, like I said, the property needs some love. But we thought, why not explore this a little bit more and a little bit deeper? So what we ended up doing was we drove from Phoenix to Tennessee. We just got back last Sunday. So we spent about 8 days with Michael and Vanessa and baby Benjamin in Tennessee. And we got to see this property in person. And it's really only about a 10-minute drive, a 10-minute walk from Michael's place. It's like a 2-minute drive. So it's right down the street from Michael's home. And we found this little property that's on 3 acres of land. It's a 700 square foot home. So it's a little bit smaller than what we're used to, but we're totally okay with that. We're going to be getting rid of some stuff and downsizing, which brings me to another book I want to share, Essentialism. Has anyone read the book Essentialism yet?
Oh my gosh, it's so great. It's so great.
Awesome. Yeah. Yes. So Essentialism, that is something that I listened to on the drive, and I'm not sure who the author is off the top of my head. Maybe someone can share that in the chat, but I don't think there's multiple books called Essentialism. So if you just search for it, you'll find it. That book was incredible. And it doesn't just talk about downsizing physically. It talks about a lot of ways personally and internally to clean things up. And so going back to just kind of getting rid of a lot of our stuff. I'm also learning how to implement the essentialism idea to just my life in general and to my business. And I'm really excited to share some of what I learned from the book. I did take a couple of notes while I was driving. I had Casey jot down some notes while we were listening. So let me find my notes on that. But that book really, really opened my eyes to that I'm saying yes to too many things. I have a very full plate. I do dog sitting. I make and sell kombucha. I do modeling. I do marketing. I'm also working as an assistant for Michael, and then studying my real estate courses and wanting to do real estate. And I'm just juggling too much, and I need to learn how to say no. So that was one of the things I learned was how to say no and what to say no to, and just how to really protect your time and to do only what's important in that moment. A couple of the things I jotted down from that book is ask myself, or ask yourself in the moment, what is essential, and eliminate everything else. What can I do right now that is most important? Because throughout the day, I've got so many things that I can do all the time. I get a little bit lost and I get a little bit jumbled. And so that book has really helped me focus. I mean, I only read it a few days ago, but I have been able to this week focus so much better on the task at hand and what I need to do. So that was incredibly helpful. I need to watch the time. Oh my gosh, we're already at the top of the hour. I have so many more things I want to share. So anyway, that book was incredibly helpful. And something else I took from that book is new habit creating. He talks about the book, The Power of Habit, which is another great book. If you haven't read it, jot that down, The Power of Habit. But you basically use, say you have a bad habit that you want to change into a good habit. Whenever you have the urge to do whatever that bad habit is, you then use that urge to, instead of doing the bad habit, you do something else that is more empowering and that's more beneficial or self-serving to you. And then it's going to take practice, but over time, as you do that consistently, you're going to wipe out that bad habit and create new empowering habits. So I loved that he shared that in the Essentialism book. And one other thing I wanted to end with is just back to health and wellness is the power of manifestation. We, again, are able to create our dream life. We can create whatever we want, and it starts with your thoughts. Everything that has ever been created in this world started with an idea and started with a thought. And so make sure that throughout the day, and I challenge you today specifically to think about your thoughts today and catch yourself. If you're saying anything negative, correct that and change it to a more empowering thought. There's so many chats. There's 63. I haven't been able to go through and read any of these, so I apologize, but they will be saved. So I might spend some time to go through these a little bit later in case any of you had questions. But keep your thoughts in check and think about things, think about where you want to be. Don't focus on how. Of course, you're going to be taking action and you want to know, of course, the steps on what you're going to be doing to get to where you want to be, but don't have that be your focus. Have your focus, instead of on the how, be on the desire itself. So again, focus on the desire, and you can manifest whatever it is that you want in life. And we here in Renatus, we have the tools and the resources and the community to create the life of our dreams. So I'll end it with that. I love you all so much. Thank you for your engagement. Thank you all for being so supportive all the time. I'm really, really grateful to be your host for these calls.
We love you,
You're amazing.
Keely.
Yeah, thank you, Keely.
We love you, Keely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I love you all too. Thank you. Thank you. All right.
Champion.
Well,
Mahalo,
Keely.
Keely. Great job.
You're awesome, Keely. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Champion.
Keely.
Thank you for sharing, dear.
you're so welcome.
Thank you, Keely.
Thank you. Thank you. Love you guys. We'll see you on the Dream Call.
Thanks, Keely.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks.